I wanted to talk to you about the number one thing that is keeping you stuck at the same position for years. This one thing that you're not focusing on, this one thing that you keep on denying, that you keep on coping with, this one thing is keeping you stuck where you are. If you're somebody who wants to become a productive person, if you're somebody who wants to open up a business, if you're somebody who wants to work harder, these are the things that will keep you stuck at this position. Let's just begin. Number one thing is not understanding dopamine and not understanding your willpower. There are two kinds of willpower inside of you. The type of willpower you use sets you up for failure. This is the type of willpower that is limited and it gets depleted. But there's another kind of willpower that has unlimited potential, unlimited energy, and it is only and only constrained by sleep. There are two sides to us. One is the logical side and one is the animalistic side. And this is an inspired video from Alex Becker because actually implementing the things he has talked about has completely changed the way I live my life. And I'm going to give the knowledge to you in this video. There are two sides to you. One is the logical side and the other side is the animal side. The logical side has a level of willpower that is limited. Let's say the logical side has 4 to 6 hours worth of willpower. If you use that willpower to work hard in the mornings, it will get depleted and it will end at some time and some point in your day. And then you start to do pointless stuff, pointless things that give you cheap dopamine. And that's when you stop working hard. And the next day, when you have achieved this incredible level of dopamine the previous day, you wouldn't work that hard. If you have achieved something that gives you the same level of dopamine as compared to earning a lot of money, let's say $100,000. If you earn $100,000 and you get a certain level of dopamine and you do a certain thing that gives you instantly that level of dopamine that you have achieved by earning $100,000 or having a successful business. Next day, you wouldn't wake up feeling like you want to do something productive. You wouldn't wake up feeling like you want to do the hard work. So here's the thing. Here's what you need to realize. There are two kinds of willpowers inside of you. One is the animalistic willpower, which is unlimited. And the other is the willpower that is logical to you. That is on the logical side. Logically, you think you should work hard. Logically, you think you should go to the gym. Logical side of you thinks that you shouldn't eat that candy. Animalistic side is completely overpowered. It's so overpowered that if you don't use it, you will set yourself up for failure. And that's what I have been doing for so many years. And I now realize for the past couple of months that this is what I needed. And the thing I needed was to use and tap into this animalistic side of willpower. Now I'm going on about animalistic side willpower, logical side willpower, but what is this animalistic side willpower that I'm talking about? This animalistic side willpower is the willpower that makes you play video games for 15 hours a day. This side of willpower is so overpowered that it makes you eat that candy. It makes you go out of your room. It makes you go through discomfort to eat that candy, to eat that junk food. It makes you waste money on pointless things. This animalistic willpower is the one that has kept you addicted to alcohol, drugs, porn, all of these things. This side of you is so overpowered that it makes you feel an impulse towards doing these bad habits. Now imagine tapping into that willpower, that side of you, but you flip the coin. Now it's for your work. Now it's for your business. Now it's for the purposeful work you always wanted to do. Imagine feeling that kind of way you feel towards video games. Imagine feeling the urge, the temptation to do the hard work, to go to the gym, to improve your life. And that has always made me imagine what life would be if and only if I started visualizing and imagining and actually doing and perceiving my goals as that of a video game. Now I'm not going to talk about make your life a video game because that's what everybody talks about on YouTube, and I'm not going to give that advice to you. What I'm going to say is there are two kinds of willpower, as we have talked about, and we need to utilize the animalistic side of willpower. This animalistic side of willpower, I would like to add on more to that, is this side of us desires dopamine. It is solely run by dopamine. The only thing it relies on is hits of dopamine. Now, video games, junk food, your addictions, whatever it may be, these things give you a lot of dopamine at once. And you always feel after you have completed a video game or after you have completed a goal, when you get that level of dopamine that you always desired for, you stop playing that video game, you stop doing that goal. Because I'll give you a real life example. I was in high school, and in 12th grade, we have like a huge exam in my country. And in 12th grade, I was going to give this exam. And my goal, my whole entire life's purpose was to score good marks, like straight A's. And that was my ultimate goal. Like literally, I was imagining, visualizing, doing all of my good habits. And I was able to work for 12, 13 hours a day. And I didn't realize why I was able to work for that amount of time. But this is not the point. The point I'm trying to make is what happened after I achieved straight A's. I never went back to my high school subjects like physics, chemistry, mathematics. I never touched it ever again. It was like The goal is achieved. Now I'm moving on with life. Like I've completely forgotten about that part of my life. And that's what happens when you achieve a lot of dopamine. When you associate something with large amount of dopamine, that's what happens. It makes you just stop once you have achieved that goal. Same reason why when a successful entrepreneur, when you look at his whole life, he earns that much amount of money, but he cannot break through that. Maybe it's with a business model, maybe it's with psychological reasons or mindset, whatever it may be. But he or she cannot break through that boundary. Same with work, same with like I can take a lot of examples from books, from studies. Like there's a salesman who earns $5,000 every month and he cannot surpass $5,000. Now the reason is that person has associated a large amount of dopamine hit once they achieve that goal. If they play a video game and they complete it, they never go back to that video game ever again. Why is that? Because they got a large hit of dopamine and now they don't need that game anymore. Same with goals, same with everything else. But this is destructive. And the reason why I'm saying this is destructive even if the dopamine is healthy and even if you're doing something productive. It is destructive because once you set yourself, let's say you set your goals as I will earn £1,000 by the end of the year. And if I did that, that's my goal achieved. That's a small goal. Once you achieve that, you get large amount of dopamine and you wouldn't be motivated. You wouldn't be able to keep up that business because you just got bored now. The game you played of business, whatever it might be, maybe it's actual game, a video game. You perceive that goal and now you have achieved it. Now you have gotten so much dopamine release. Now you're just bored. You won't do it anymore. It doesn't make you stay at that level, so you will fall back down to your old self, to your old habits. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like you shouldn't have large hits of dopamine with anything else. If it's like a huge life goal, like an achievement, like a family or $1 million per month or something like very huge, that is almost impossible for the 99% of the people to achieve. Now I'm not saying to make stupid goals like, oh, I want a Ferrari like in month. I'm not saying to set those goals. What I'm saying is to set unreasonably reasonable goals that push you, but it is also reasonable. It's like if it's unreasonably reasonable, that goal is perfect for you and you can associate a lot of dopamine with that. But I'll still say to not make it such a huge thing, because chasing after such a huge thing, once you achieve it, you won't be able to keep it sustained forever or for a long time. The point I'm making is if you want to tap into that animalistic side of you, that willpower that is unlimited, let's get back to the point now. If you want to tap into that, you don't need to give it a lot of dopamine like video games, like corn, like addictions. You don't associate large amounts of dopamine, but you give tiny amounts of dopamine while you're working. The only amount of dopamine you get should be from your work. If you're getting that level of dopamine from your work, tiny hits of dopamine, and it's coming from your work and nothing else, that means you will be tapping into that animalistic side of you. And that animalistic side will allow you to work for 10, 12, 13 hours a day. And I want you to understand this and take it very seriously. Like this has changed me. The way I think and perceive my goals, I don't see them as logically. I'm not using my logical willpower now. I'm using my animalistic side of willpower. I'm tapping into that unlimited energy, which is only bounded by sleep and probably tiredness. But like imagine a day where you have went for 15 hours, no sleep, but you played video games or you did something, probably jacking off or anything for hours and hours and hours. And you didn't needed any motivation, discipline, anything for that. Why? Because you have unlimited willpower over there, but you're not tapping into it. And it is the stupidest thing ever. I only give advice to you on the things I've actually done myself. And I'm telling you, like, we need to do this and nobody's talking about it. Like, people talk about it, but not in this way. Like the way Alex Becker explained. I urge you to watch his video. Like, even if you don't understand what I'm trying to say, even if you're not convinced by me, I'm pretty sure he will be able to convince you. What I want to do now is to give you some actual advice on how you can tap into that dopamine game, how you can play the dopamine game and tap into that willpower that is unlimited and that you desire so much. Because tapping into that willpower will make you and enable you to work for 10 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours non-stop. And the only way, the answer to tap into that willpower is dopamine. You give yourself small hits of dopamine while you're working, while you do something you wanted to do that is related with your goals. You tap into that level of willpower. How you do that? Well, imagine you setting yourself a lot of milestones. Or let's say animalistic side of you is evolutionary, and evolutionary men and women, or at least men like us, we want honor, we want respect. That's why people in the army, they do such heroic acts because they want honor, they want respect from other men. And we value this so much. We value virtue in other men. If a man is virtueless, we won't value him at all. We will see him almost below us. So I have my points over here. And this video is completely unscripted. scripted, by the way, and I only want to talk about whatever I've learned. Like everything I know about this topic, I'm going to tell you everything. There's no script here. It's just coming directly through my mind and soul and heart. So I want you to listen to this. These are the points that I've just written down, and I want to talk about it. This system completely fails and it never works if your mind is overstimulated. If your dopamine receptors, if your dopamine system is fucked up, if it's completely messed up, this won't help you. This won't help you at all. You won't even be able to read or listen to a person with full focus because your dopamine system is fucked up. You won't be doing these normal tasks like reading a paragraph with full focus because your dopamine receptors are fucked up. So I want you to fix this. No overstimulation in your life. Complete, like, that's why I'm saying average people, like, I have talked to so many average people in university. No disrespect to them, but they are average. And they will never get successful, the type of successful I perceive as success. They won't get there. You know why? Because they will cope and cope and cope with random bad habits that doing that is completely destroying their dopamine receptors, and they're just destroying and damaging their brain and life, and they will just keep on coping with random things, random activities, and they will just keep on getting with excuses like, oh, I'm going to wind down before bed by playing video games, even though playing video games your brain is completely turned on. And if you are somebody who won't take this advice seriously, if you're somebody who will not eliminate, I'm seriously talking about this, elimination of every overstimulating activity, elimination of every thing that gives you cheap dopamine. If you're not eliminating it, stop watching this video. Stop watching videos on discipline. Stop watching all of this BS content because it won't help you. If you're not living like a healthy human being is supposed to live, you're not going to be successful. That's simple. You won't even have a decent mental health to literally live and exist. And I want you to take this very seriously. You right now live in an environment where you're getting a month's, 2 months worth of dopamine that a man and a woman got 1,000 years ago, or not even 1,000, 50, 60 years ago. That man was getting this level of dopamine in 3 months of hard work, and you're getting that in a fucking morning routine where you just get up and you go on your phone and go scroll on TikTok and social media. So if you're not living like a healthy human is supposed to live, then you won't be successful. That's as simple as it can get and as simple as it can be explained in. Completely destroy your overstimulating activities. Replace everything that keeps you distracted with something that gives you more focus, that gives you more energy, that is basically delaying gratification. So you need to replace scrolling on social media with books. You need to replace junk food with healthy food. You need to replace spending time with pointless friends and friends you know you shouldn't be hanging around with building a community online or working on your business. Instead of eating food and looking at a screen on your phone or just looking at a movie, replace it with a book. Now, I will be completely honest, and I'm completely honest with this video. I can't do that. I generally cannot read while I'm eating. I need something to watch. So what I did is I watch completely low dopamine podcast style videos that will actually help me. There's no flashy edits. Even if the video is helpful to me and there's flashy editing in that video, like random things are popping into the screen, then I won't watch it. I will only watch the videos that is like a lecture to me, like 40, 50, 60 minutes, that is not sapping away or taking my attention away and destroying it. That is actually making me more focused because I'm focusing on the man's or the woman's words rather than the editing. Most people these days, they won't watch my video. The video I'm trying to make, this is so helpful. It will probably change so many lives if it got viral. But nobody will watch it. You know why? Because they value dopamine more than they value these types of things. If I'm giving you the actual blueprint to working hard in this video, most people won't even watch it. Like half of 80-90% of the people who are watching it, they might have clicked off the video because my video is not filled with dopamine. It's just information, knowledge, and things I'm learning. Replace every bad thing with good things. Destroy and eliminate all the overstimulating activities you're doing, all the things that gives you cheap dopamine. Destroy it. Set up your environment in a way that does not allow you to get distracted. Meaning, I'm at a level where I have enough control, self-control, and willpower to not do bad things, to not do my bad habits. And I'm at a level where I don't need these things, but I still do it. I still do not have the doors open for bad things to enter. It's like I have set up an environment. I imagine my environment as if I am the empire. I'm building an empire, and my empire has thousands of windows and gates. And these windows and gates are locked. And the reason why they are locked is because everything around me, everything around my empire is fucked up. And it is negative. It is news, media. It is cheap dopamine. It is lust. It is just stupid things that will destroy my empire from the inside out, and I lock it down. Even if I have a mighty fucking huge empire, I'll still lock my doors and windows down because what's on the inside, I'm developing it. I'm opening certain windows and doors. The outside world comes into my empire and it is already filtered through and it is positive and it is not filled with negativity. It's something that will build my empire even more. So lock everything down. This is what every entrepreneur, this is what every billionaire does. Even when they have this level of discipline, willpower, they still lock everything down. They still have this environment set up for themselves that does not allow them to play video games, does not allow them to get distracted. So set up an environment that does not allow you to get distracted. Destroy all the things that gives you cheap dopamine and replace all of the bad habits with the good habits. Take it very seriously. This is about your life. Like, I want you to take this seriously. Don't just listen to me. Oh, replace bad habits with good habits. Everybody talks about it. I never implemented it, but now I am because I'm realizing that I can tap into that animalistic side of me by using my addictions, by using my cheap dopamine, not like getting cheap dopamine, but by using dopamine, I can tap into that willpower. So you need to use that dopamine, but you need to also realize that you need to use it in small doses. And the only way it works is by not allowing yourself to get huge hits of dopamine every single day. So when you're doing some level of work, you might be getting small hits of dopamine that I'll explain you at a later part of the video, that how you get these small hits of dopamine. When you get these small hits of dopamine and then you're looking at your phone in your rest break after 90 minutes of work, you're looking at your phone. That's what most people do. You're getting a huge hit of dopamine. How could you remain focused? How could you not be bored of the work when you get into the next session? So don't look at your phone in your rest break. Don't give yourself huge level of dopamine while you're getting small hits of dopamine from your work. The only thing that gives you the pleasure should be your work, should come from your work, and it should be positive dopamine. It should be high quality, high value dopamine. Like, it's probably not a scientific word. High value, high quality dopamine. It's probably not. It's definitely not. But there's cheap dopamine and there's dopamine that makes you feel better. Like cold showers, it gives you good dopamine. Like working on a business and developing it gives you good dopamine. These are the good things that you need to work on. Delayed gratification. Pain gives you high level of higher quality dopamine in the longer run. Now you have set yourself and set your environment and set your life for you to sort of start tapping into that willpower, that unlimited willpower, by having small doses of dopamine related with your work. Everything around your work, everything you think about should be related to your work. You should be writing down ideas. You should be thinking about everything related to your business, related to your work. You shouldn't think about, oh, I want to play that video game. How do I kill that freaking level 100 boss? Like, these things are pointless. These thoughts are pointless. You have to think about them all the time. You need to think about such thoughts, but with business, with your studies, with your work task, with your goals. How can I do this better? How can I do X or Y better? What can I do to improve my life? What can I do to improve my speech? Maybe I can go outside and talk to strangers. Maybe I can go to a cafe and work around people. So everything you do outside of your work should be related to your work. If your sole purpose is to do bodybuilding and your sole purpose is to become muscular, then you focus or you watch content or you read or you learn about everything that surrounds bodybuilding. That's an example. So you learn about diet, you learn about the form of exercise that you're doing, you learn about supplements, all of that thing, because the main goal is to become a bodybuilder and everything else you're doing is contributing to that main goal, and hence you will achieve that goal much faster, much more efficiently, and you will become an ultra high performer in that particular field. A person who is an entrepreneur who focuses on his business and he thinks about his business every single minute of his day, he's getting ideas, thoughts in shower, he is doing random things, he's cooking and getting ideas, he's thinking about entrepreneurship and his business all the time, will beat you who does his business from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. and that's it. Then he plays video games, then he goes out with friends, then he's doing all of these random things. He will beat you every single time. Same thing I talked about with computer science. If a computer scientist is working, thinking and living computer science and the subjects within it, and you are just taking it passively and you're just doing computer science for fun, you won't beat it. You won't beat that man. You won't be able to compete with that level of guy. So you need to understand that everything you do around your work, your goals, should be related and contributing to your goals. So you need to understand that, yeah, you have a logical side of you that has limited willpower, and you need to use it to resist temptations, resist impulses, resist things, and also to do the work. But you need to tap into that animalistic side of you, that animalistic willpower, to do unlimited amount of work and actually get unlimited amount of success. And the way you do that is through dopamine. And now I'm going to talk about how you can get small hits of dopamine. Number one thing, we are evolutionary built in a way, as I've talked earlier, we are evolutionary built in a way which demands respect, which demands competition, which demands us to become the best in a particular group of people. If there's a group of people in a gym, you are competitively releasing and getting dopamine by becoming the best in that group. So if you're a leader and you're leading a community, then, or you're leading a YouTube channel or whatever it might be, you're getting dopamine, small hits of dopamine by being a leader, by being in that community, by being around other men who have the same goals as you and you're competing with them. When you are in a community, it has multiple benefits that I'm not going to talk about in this video, but I'm going to talk about what it has to do with dopamine. It releases dopamine because we are evolutionary built in a way to dominate the society and dominate the competition and become better. Then you will automatically release small hits of dopamine when you're getting small levels of success. When you're reaching small levels, you're achieving your goals, your small goals, your milestones within your goals. When you're achieving these things, you will release dopamine. You also need to make progress and you need to document that progress. You need to sort of have a metric that measures progress. And I will be doing that as I've done that, but I've done that in my mind. And I want to do that like and see what happens if I do it actually on a piece of paper and document my progress with everything. So there are a lot of skills that is within your work task. So if you're, let's say, a student, so skill might be to, I don't know, become better at solving problems. Maybe you're a mathematics major and the skill might be to do or become better at maths or do faster calculations. There are a lot of skills that is related with your work task and a lot of external things that are positive, like reading a book, going to the gym, working on yourself, working on your mental health. You need to sort of make it a metric and you need to track and document your progress within this, because evolutionary, when we make progress we release dopamine. When we make small amounts of progress, whether it's with speaking, like I was trash at speaking 4 months ago, I was trash at speaking 10 days ago, now I'm better at speaking, like slightly better, and I'm stuttering less and I'm still fumbling over my words and I'm trying to correct it, but I'm not fumbling over my words like I just did that much. And now I'm getting and feeling better, like dopamine is getting released in my brain, not large amount of dopamine but small tiny amounts of dopamine that is keeping me on this track. The point is to for you to be on this track, and the way you get on this track is by small tiny hits of dopamine while you're on this journey. Not huge hits of dopamine, but small tiny hits of dopamine. Number one, community. When you're in a community, when you're challenging yourself, when you're with other men like you, and you're competing with other men, and you're getting any amount of success within that community, and you're getting valued, you're getting admired by people within that community, you release dopamine. The next thing is for you to track your progress and document your progress, because making progress, again, however tiny it might be, 1% improving yourself every single day will release dopamine. The next thing is kind of different, and it is to visualize yourself and picture yourself being successful and picture yourself and actually taking advantage of the power visualizations and self identity holds. And I won't like go into the self identity, self image point, but you need to visualize yourself being successful. Like specifically imagine yourself being successful and getting admired by everybody around you. Maybe it's your parents, maybe it's people, maybe it's friends, and just visualize them admiring you while you are successful at that particular thing, whatever your goal might be. That's a specific type of visualization that I want you to do. So use visualizations, change your self-image, self-identity, and tap into that willpower, because that also releases dopamine. When you think about yourself in a positive light, that releases dopamine. Like I said before, separate yourself with large levels of gratification. Eliminate everything that is overstimulating your brain. And even if it's your goals, like I will want to earn 1,000 pounds every month by the end of the year. And once you achieve that goal, you get so much about, like, don't, the way you stop getting this level of dopamine, the way you stop getting large hits of dopamine when you achieve your goals, and I might be wrong, but this is my speculation, is by not celebrating it, is by just still just keeping on track and doing what you do daily, not celebrating it, not thinking about it. Oh, you achieved $1,000 per month by the end of the year. Good, you got your goal. Feel a bit of positive energy. Feel tiny levels of hits of dopamine. Set a new goal. $10,000 per month now. Let's go to $10,000 per month. And now we have a bigger goal. My life still sucks. And my life would be better when I earn this much amount of money. So separate yourself with large level of or large hits of dopamine, whether it's good or bad. Next thing I want you to do is set milestones. Set yourself up for success in the small run. Meaning, if you, let's say, if you upload a video, just associate tiny amount of dopamine with that upload. Even if it's a shitty video, even if it's something that you hate, but you uploading, even if it's private, you uploading that video on YouTube and you taking a step to becoming a YouTuber is very good. And you need to associate some level of dopamine with that. So associate tiny levels of dopamine, milestones, like set small goals within your major goal and achieve those small milestones. And you will hit, like you will get small hits of dopamine while you do that. You can boost your dopamine by other things as well, other materialistic things. And what I mean by this is you can maybe go to a cafe to work, or you go to a co-working space where the smell is nicer, where the people are nicer, where the environment is nicer. You can change your environment. You can, like, my work desk is basically clean at all times, and I have books around me. My room is smelling nice, so that's associated with good levels of dopamine, happy, positive dopamine. I do habits like gratitude journaling and meditating that releases good dopamine. And I take cold showers and all of that to sort of implant good small doses of dopamine manually. I exercise, that gives me dopamine as well. It puts me through pain and discomfort while I'm doing it, but after a couple of hours or days, I feel better. I have written down a few points that I do here. So I make myself a special cup of tea when I start working. Like, I drink a lot of tea, and like a special smell of that tea and something with that, like coffee or tea, makes me feel good. And feeling good is one of the best things. Like, a lot of people just think about, oh, it's painful to do the work and you shouldn't feel good. You shouldn't rely on feelings. Yeah, you shouldn't rely on feelings, but you can tap into that feeling, that side of you that has unlimited willpower. You feel like playing video games. Well, you can make your environment in a way that you feel like working more. You can do that. Special lighting. I have like special lightings that is so bright. Like, I've turned off all of the lights right now, but I have special lighting in my around my desk area which makes it like bright and something, it looks nicer, and that has like some level of dopamine associated with it. Everything around it, the smell, the coffee, the lighting, books, the environment, the bed, the chair, my laptop, typing on my laptop, the camera, my phone, my headphones, the water bottle. Like, look at this, it's fucking beautiful, all glass. I have a printer, a proper lamp, everything. Now, these are associated with positive dopamines, and they give me, they feel like they make me feel better, and they make me feel like I want to work harder, basically. So, to summarize, social value is something we value, evolutionary. We care about what people think about us. And if you're in a community, that will help you to stay on track and help you to achieve small hits of dopamine. Second was, let me see. Obviously, you need to eliminate all distractions and overstimulation. You need to tap into that dopamine system within you. Like, have small hits of dopamine hits within your major goal, and don't have large hits of dopamine. That's the main point, right? Community, visualizations. Then we have progress, track your progress, document your progress. And at the end, I was talking about environment and how you can set your environment up that releases positive dopamines like smell, coffee, all of that. Implement these things and talk to me about these things in the comment section. And if you have any disagreements, if you have any more insights on how I can make this a better video, or anything you want to add, really, you can comment down below, and it will also help me improve the channel, drive the videos to more people so more people can get the help. If you enjoyed the video, I want you to like the video and subscribe to my channel, because it really helps me to make more videos like this and research and read books and come to you with better and more advanced videos that will help you eventually.